Welcome in, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you guys are doing well and hope you're having a good weekend. So, the FIBA EuroBasket 2025 tournament is officially over. So, in this video, what we're going to do is, I would say, four different things. Number one, we're going to take a look at the semifinals round that happened. And after that, we're going to take a look at the third place game. And we're going to take a look at the final game, the championship game. And at the very end, we're going to see who was the MVP of the FIBA EuroBasket 2025 tournament. So we got some good stuff to take a look at and talk about. Before we do jump into that, I would like to mention that on my YouTube channel, I create content about money, sports, and personal topics with the goal of bringing value to other people's lives. So if you guys find value in this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. All right, let's take a look at FIBA EuroBasket 2025 semifinals and the final. All right, so in the semifinals round, we had two pretty big games, two great matchups. So on one side of the bracket, it was Greece and Giannis Antetokounmpo versus Turkey and Alperen Şengün. And on the other side, it was Germany with Franz Wagner and Dennis Schroeder versus Finland and Lauri Markkanen. So, very exciting semifinals round. Sometimes these rounds are better than the actual final. So, let's see what happened. So, the first one we're going to take a look at is Turkey versus Greece. So this was a pretty big blowout. I definitely was not expecting this. So Turkey got a win 94-68. So they won by 26 points. So it says here still perfect. Turkey back in the EuroBasket final after 24 years after beating Greece. So let's take a look at some of the game leaders here. So as far as efficiency here, we see the two leaders here. Points. So it's again Slukas and Osmani had a huge game in this one. Rebounds, Giannis and Şengün each had 12 for their teams. Assists, 5 for Giannis, 6 for Şengün. Blocks, Kostas Antetokounmpo had 3 and Osmani had 1. And steals, both of them had 2 steals apiece. So very good game by Turkey and Osmani. So in this one, Turkey took an early lead, as you can see on this tracker, and they just basically grew their lead throughout the game, and it was just a really dominant victory by Turkey. You can see that they led the whole game, and very impressive. So let's just take a look at the box score a little bit. So for Greece, Giannis had 12 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. So this was one of his worst games in the tournament. He's usually up there getting 30 plus points or close to that. So this was kind of a disappointing game by Giannis with 12 points. So not sure what happened there. For Turkey, Shane Larkin, 14 points. Chetty Osman, 17. Şengün had 15. And Osmani had a huge game with 28 points. He also had 6 rebounds. So he was kind of the X factor in this game. He played better than both Giannis and Şengün. So he was the player of the game in this one for sure. So let's take a look at some of the game stats. So again, on the lead tracker, Turkey led and dominated the whole game. Field goal percentage 44 for Greece, 53 for Turkey. All right, and 3-point percentage, Turkey was 45.5%, and Greece was only 33.3%. So, very good game here. So, I think that's good as far as the numbers on this one. So, I was definitely very excited to watch this game. I mean, anytime you get Giannis playing, and this time it was against Şengün. So I was definitely watching this game. I thought it would be a lot more competitive. Um, I know Greece has been a one-man show with Giannis, but I still thought they had a good enough team where they would make things more competitive with Turkey. Um, these are typically two of the best teams in Europe, so just a little surprised there that Turkey got such a big win, but they had Osmani step up for them, had a huge game, and Turkey was just the better overall team this year and in this tournament. So good game to watch, and Turkey moved on to the final. So in the other semifinals game, it was a bit more competitive. So Germany versus Finland. So in this one, Germany got a 12-point win over Finland, 98 to 86. So let's see some of the game leaders in this one. So for Germany, Dennis Schroeder had the highest number for efficiency. Let's take a look at points. Schroeder had 26, and Olivier Nkamhoua had the most points for Finland. Rebounds, Daniel Tice with 11. Assists, Dennis Schroeder had 12 for Germany. Blocks and steals. All right. Daniel Tice had 2, and Miro Little had 2. All right. So let's take a look at the box score on this one. So for Germany, Franz Wagner had 22 points. Dennis Schroeder had 26 points. So the two big guys for Germany played very well, over 20 points each. So that's good to see if you're a Germany fan. And for Finland, Lauri Markkanen had 16 points. And he also had 8 rebounds. So a solid game by Lauri Markkanen. Let's take a look at some of the game stats. So in this one, looks like Finland was leading initially in the first quarter, but ever since then, Germany took over and pretty much held on to the lead the whole game. So this was also a pretty impressive and dominant win as well. Shooting percentage, 43 for Germany, 46 for Finland. 3-point range, 40 for Germany, 31% for Finland. All right, I think that's good enough as far as the numbers on this one. So again, in this one, for Germany, the guys then needed to play well. Their two best players, Franz Wagner and Dennis Schroeder, they both had 20 plus points. So they did what they needed to do. And then also Germany has so many other guys on the team that contribute, and they did. So another well-rounded win for Germany. And for Finland, Lauri Markkinen had a solid game, but not his best. So disappointing loss for Finland. They made it pretty far in the tournament, being the final four teams. So I think they still had a very successful tournament in this one. So as a result of Greece and Finland losing in their semifinals round, they were the two teams that played for third place. So let's take a look at the third place game. So very, very close game all the way to the end. It went down, but Greece got a win of 92 to 89. Sakianis was the player of the game. He had 30 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists. And Greece got the bronze medal in the tournament, which they're very happy about. So let's take a look at the game leaders here. So efficiency, Giannis had the highest with 43 for Greece. Jantinen had 22 for Finland. Points, Giannis with 30, Markkinen with 19. Rebounds, Giannis with 17, Markkinen with 10. Assists, Giannis with 6, Jantinen with 7. Giannis had 2 blocks. All right, so very good game by Giannis. So let's take a look at the lead tracker here. So it looks like Greece led most of the game, but Finland made it very close at the end. And it was filled with drama at the very end. Let's take a look at the box score on this one. For Greece, Tyler Dorsey, 20 points. Giannis with 30 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists. So this was a big game by Giannis, a lot better than the game that he had versus Turkey. So nice to see him bounce back in this one. For Finland, Lauri Markkinen 19 points. And a few of the other guys were in double digits scoring as well. Let's take a look at the game stats. So again, Greece led most of this game, but almost gave it up all the way at the end. Field goal percentage 48 to 39 for Greece. 3-point percentage 46 for Greece, 33 for Finland. All right, so even though the score was close at the very end, I think the Greece was definitely the better team and deserved this win. So, all right, that's good enough as far as the numbers on the third place game. So, this was also an interesting game to watch. Again, just want to see the NBA stars, Giannis and Lauri Markkinen play. And yeah, Greece played very well throughout the whole game. They were up double digits with just a few minutes left in the game, but somehow Finland just came back very aggressively at the end, and they actually had a chance to tie up the game from the free throw line, but they missed the last free throw, and that was pretty much the game there. So, filled with drama, and this is kind of why I love watching basketball. Just as soon as you think one team is for sure going to win, you got to watch until the last minute, last seconds, just to see if there's a potential upset. So this game was definitely very entertaining. Might have been one of the best games to watch, specifically towards the end. So I was definitely glued to the TV. And Greece and Giannis, they get a medal in the tournament. So they're third place winners. They get the bronze medal. And Giannis also said that this was his this was the best accomplishment of his career. So this means a lot to him. You know, he is an NBA champion. He's also an NBA MVP. And the fact that he said that this was the biggest achievement of his career just tells you how much he cares about his country and playing for his national team and getting this bronze medal. So that was cool to watch and see. So there you have it. Greece get the bronze in the third place. And just also want to mention Finland had a very successful tournament, even though they didn't win this game. I mean, I don't think anybody saw them going this far, so I think they should be very proud of their team, and they definitely put Finland basketball on the map. All right, guys. So after a long wait and after watching all the games in the tournament, we finally got to the best and most anticipated game of the tournament, and that is the final. And it definitely did not disappoint. So, huge game between Turkey and Germany. So, let's jump into it and see what happened. So, again, very close game, but at the very end, Germany got an 88-83 win over Turkey. And Germany win the final and they get the gold medal, while Turkey gets second place and the silver medal. So some game leaders here. So as far as efficiency, Şengün for Turkey, Bonga for Germany. Points, 28 for Şengün, 20 for Bonga. Rebounds, Shane Larkin with 6, Franz Wagner with 8. Assists, Larkin with 9, Schroeder with 12. Blocks, Şengün with 3, Wagner with 2. And steals, Larkin with 2 and Bonga with 1. So let's take a look at the lead tracker here. So it looks like Germany led most of the game. And, or actually, I should say, it looks like Turkey actually led most of the game. But it was kind of back and forth with both teams taking leads here and there. So it was a nice competitive game to watch for sure. So let's take a look at the box score on this one. For Turkey, Shane Larkin, 13 points, Cedi Osman, 23, Alperen Şengün, 28, Adam Bona with 12. For Germany, Bonga had 20 points, Franz Wagner, 18 points, Dennis Schroeder, 16 points with 12 assists. So Schroeder had a very nice game. Let's take a look at the game stats. All right, looks like Turkey shot 48% from the field. Germany shot 54 from 3-point range. Turkey was 36%. Germany was 54%. So Germany shot a lot better from the three. All right. I think that's good enough as far as the numbers in the final. So, I mean, this was a very good final to watch. Both of these teams actually entered this final undefeated. So they were undefeated in the group stage. And obviously, in the knockout phase, they've been undefeated. So the two best teams in the tournament got to face off in the final. So that was good to see. Um, I was rooting for Turkey, but as I mentioned in my last video, my expectation was that Germany would win just because Germany has been such a smooth, well rounded team the whole tournament. And they just looked the best, to keep it simple. I mean, Turkey is right there, as you can see, just 5 point difference. But at the end, Dennis Schroeder, with his athleticism, he was able to get some very important buckets at the end. Franz Wagner for Germany, very good game as well. So the final definitely did not disappoint. And I definitely loved watching the game as a basketball fan. And a lot of the players also played well, like for Turkey. Cedi Osman had a nice game, and Şengün also had another nice game. So all the NBA players, all the stars, they played very well. So I was definitely very satisfied as a basketball fan in this one. And I believe this is Germany's second EuroBasket championship. So they've done it before, but they do it once again. And they are the best team in Europe as far as basketball. So, very good tournament to watch. Kind of sad that it's over, but we crown a champion, and Germany gets the gold medal in first place. Turkey gets the silver medal in second place, and Greece gets the bronze medal in third place. All right, so just some other cool things I want to take a look at and talk about now that the tournament is over. So, Dennis Schroeder of Germany has been named the MVP of FIBA EuroBasket 2025. So, the winning team, first place team, gold medal winning team, they also get the MVP. So he's had a very good tournament. He's been Germany's leader, and he's had a very good tournament. He averaged 20.3 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and zero point 0.8 steals. So, very good job by Dennis Schroeder. He's not as big of a name as some of the other guys like Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, but he's still a very, very good player, and he got the MVP award for the tournament. So good job there. So the next thing I want to take a look at is they named an All Star Five. So this is kind of like an All NBA team that would be listed in the NBA. So it's basically like the five best players in the tournament. So we see here Those five guys are Dennis Schroeder of Germany, that we just mentioned, Luka Doncic of Slovenia, Franz Wagner of Deutschland or Germany, Giannis Antetokounmpo of Greece, and Alperen Şengün of Turkey. So very interesting list here. I don't think there's too much to disagree with here. Jokic is not in the All Star 5 just because his team went out early in the tournament. So, yeah, I think this is a good All Star 5. So, no complaints on my end. And then they also listed an All Star second team. So, this is again kind of like the All NBA second team. So, these are the 6th through 10th best players in the tournament. So, they have Cedi Osman of Turkey, Lauri Markkanen of Finland, and I think this is, forget his name, Jordan Lloyd of Poland, Deni Avdia of Israel, and Nikola Jokic of Serbia. So all-star second team. Um, not totally sure about this list. I don't have a problem with Cedi Osman, Lauri Markkanen, or Jokic, but as far as Jordan Lloyd of Poland and Deni Avdia of Israel, there could potentially be some other guys put in their place, but can't really think of anyone at this time. But we'll just go with their list here. So that's good to see. Also, some other awards. So Turkey's coach, Ataman, he was named the best coach of FIBA EuroBasket 2025. So I'm not sure if a lot of people had Turkey making it all the way to the final game. I mean, Serbia was definitely a favorite. Spain was favorite, even though they had a lot of new players. Greece was also a favorite. So I think maybe Turkey surprised a lot of people, and thus he got the coach of the year. So as far as FIBA EuroBasket 2025 Rising Star honor, that went to Finland's Murinen. So this kid is very tall and long and athletic, and he's had some very impressive dunks in the tournament. And I think his basketball future looks very bright. He's only 18 years old, and I'm not sure what his NBA situation is, but if he's not in the NBA, he's definitely going to be there soon. So Finland basketball is on the map for sure. And the last thing I want to take a look at is just the final standings overall in the tournament now that it's over. So we see here that Germany is first place. They got the gold medal. Turkey is second place. They got silver. Greece is in third place. They got bronze. And obviously, Finland is fourth. Some other countries that stand out: Slovenia, seventh. Serbia, 10th. My home country of Bosnia and Herzegovina is in 13th place. Spain is 17th, and so on and so on. So nice to see the final standings after everything is said and done. So that's good to see. All right, guys. So that wraps up FIBA EuroBasket 2025. So specifically, we covered the semifinals and the final in this show, and we also covered some other things like the awards. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tournament as much as I did. I hope you were rooting for your country and had fun during the process. So that wraps up my coverage of FIBA EuroBasket 2025. If you guys found value in this video, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.